Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to cut a straight Ankara trouser. It's very easy, straightforward guys. You know how to do it here the easy way. So let's go right into it. After folding your fabric into two just like so, you draw a straight line at the edge of the fabric. Now after that, you measure your lap or your tie, divide it by 2 and measure it. This is just to cut out the amount of fabric that you'll be needing for the front piece. So this is the front piece we are cutting right now. So I actually use it to determine the amount of fabric I need, and I'm so cutting it out just like so. So afterwards, the next thing you do is to get your measurements and use your measurement. Now the person I'm sewing for is of a big size, so it depends on the kind of measurement you want to use. So the waist of the person, you can see the hip, you can see the trouser length. You also be needing the knee length and then the knee round, and as well you'll be needing your, I think I wrote lap twice. I'm going to be using lap or tie so that it will be easy for you guys to understand what I'm trying to say. So you'll be dividing your hip by 4, your lap by 2, and then your waist by 4. Now don't forget this, your hip is going to be by 4, you'll be dividing your lap by 2 and your waist by 4. So the only thing you'll be dividing by 2 is your lap measurement, that is your tie measurement. So let's go right into it. So you divide your hip by 4 and you'll be measuring your hip measurement, then not the waist, actually the hip first. So when we want to sew, that's when we use the measurement of the waist. So we divide our hip by 4 and we measured it there, and then so we also use the same hip measurements downward like so. I just added like ½ inch to it to get the crotch side. Now the easiest way to get your sitting is to divide your hip by 4. So I use the same measurement downward and then upward just like so. I'm trying to get the center of the hip, so you can see my hip measurement. That's the straight line I draw just like so. Where the straight line stopped is where my sitting actually stopped. I use the same measurement of the hip divided by 4, and then I added ½ inch. That was what bettered the straight line just like so. So afterwards, the next thing to do is to measure your lap or your tie. So most times the difference between the sitting, where the sitting stopped, the hip and the lap, is either 2 inches or 3 inches or 2.5 inches and all like that. So I'm trying to show you that this is where the sitting stopped, which is 12.5, but I added ½ inches to it, making 13. So this is where the sitting stopped. Don't forget it was our hip measurement that we used first, and then we drew a straight line from our hip measurement to achieve our sitting. And so we are going to our lap now, which is our tie. So the lap of a person is 32.5 divided by 2, that's about 16.25 I guess. So after measuring the 16.25 where our sitting stopped, so we draw a straight line just like so. After drawing a straight line, we'll go ahead to measure our trouser measurements. This is not like a permanent or the basic or the standard way of doing it. We have so many ways of cutting a trouser, but it's just a very easy and straightforward way to cut a trouser. So we'll be measuring our trouser length and dividing our trouser length by 4, and then add 2 inches allowance, that is your seam allowance, to it. So for pencil trouser, this is like the easiest method. The first thing you do is to measure 2 inches at that side that is close to your straight line, 2 inches at that side, and where your knee length also stop, which is 20 for the person I'm sewing for, you measure, you minus 1 inches. Don't forget we minus 2 inches at the downward part of the pencil, and then we measure 1 inches, we minus 1 inches from where our knee length stop, and then we draw a straight line just like so. After drawing a straight line, the next thing you can do, I still had to confirm my lap again, which was 16.25 inches, and then I went ahead to measure my knee length, which is 20, and then that was where I'm going to measure my knee round. Now it depends on the measurement of the person you're sewing for. So your knee round will also be divided by 2, just the way your knee length is divided, just where your lap is divided by 2. You know that we have 2 separate legs now. It's not together, it's not joined together like your hip is, and that is why we are dividing it by 2. So to get a perfect measurement, make sure that you measure the knee round of the person so as to be perfect at that place. So the ankle, which is the downward part, I think I divided by 2 as well. I used 7, and then I draw a straight line just like so. Now you notice that that is actually giving us a sharp edge, so we need something that is curved so that it will be very comfortable for the person. And that is why I'm going to be using my French curve to achieve a curve other side. Make sure that it's touching each other. And so I'm going to be using my French curve to achieve the curve just like so. This is very easy, guys. Just put your heart to it. Honestly, it's very easy and straightforward. Just follow the process and you can watch it again if you don't understand the first time. So the next thing we'll do is to cut out our measurements just like so. So easy and straightforward. After cutting it out, we place it on another fabric and fold another fabric into 2 and place it on it to cut out the back side. So this is what it looks like. Make sure that the upper part is actually longer so that you can add your inches. Now you know that our buttocks is usually bigger than our front part, that is human body, right? Okay, so at the edge of the sitting, you draw a straight line just like so. The edge of the lap, you draw a straight line just like so, and measure 3 inches forward. So you'll be adding 3 inches allowance to the trouser. You notice that for the front measurements, we use the exact measurement. We did not add any allowance. Most of the allowance will be added to the back. I used 2 inches at that side, 2 inches at the lap side, and then 2 inches at the other downward part. So all the allowance will be added to the back just to make it smarter. That is actually what makes French trouser really smart. So you add the allowance to the back, and most times you can just add a few inches allowance to the front piece and then add another allowance to the back piece. So afterwards, at the edge, at the upper part there, you add like 1.5 inch or 2 inches, depends on how big the person's buttocks is. So I think I added 2 inches for that side, or 2.5 inch, 2 inches I guess. So and then you draw a slant line just from the edge of the fabric to the 2 inches allowance that you drew, just like so. And then you add 2 inches allowance again to each of the parts downwards, just like so. Guys, if you've not subscribed, please try as much as possible to do so right now. This goes a long way to inspire me to want to do more. So you draw a straight line just like so and achieve the curve just the way it is, and you cut it out. So you can see that the back piece is bigger than the front piece, and don't forget to add all of those allowances to it. This goes a long way to make you to achieve a accurate measurement, and then it won't be tight for your clients or whatever it is yourself or whatever you're sewing for. So this is the front piece and this is the back piece. So thank you so much, guys. So now the next thing to do is to measure your band. I actually used the waist measurement and I added like 6 inches allowance to it. So it's better to have leftovers than to have a fabric that is not enough. So afterwards, the downward part, I made it like 3 inches. It's not going to be very big though, because I'm still going to add some things inside, maybe like add tape to make it very hard and to stay perfectly on our body for the band. So I'm going to be folding it like that, and then the other part will be sewn. So basically this is what it's about. Thank you so much, guys, for taking our time to watch this video to the end. I'm sure you learned 1 or 2 things. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. I love you. See you in my next video. Bye.